Hello friends, how are you all? Let us start with the next topic. That is methods of calculation of national income. The third method, expenditure method. Already two methods we have completed. Okay, today. Now see the method. According to this method, the total expenditure incurred by the society in a particular year is added together. That means again it is a sum total of the expenditure, but when the income is earned and the part of income that is used for the consumption purpose, it is known as expenditure. So here what we can get the national income by summing up all consumption expenditure regarding consumer goods as well as capital goods. Okay, consumer goods and capital goods, all of you know about that. Consumer goods, that is the goods which we use in daily life. Capital goods, that means our assets that will be purchased one time and we will get benefit from the from that particular asset for so many years or for a long period. That is known as, we can say, capital goods. Okay, so now, what is here the total of all consumption expenditure and investment expenditure made by all individuals, firms, as well as government of a country during a year. That means during particular year, how much each and everyone is expenditure, what is his expenditure, or how he is incurring expenses for this capital and consumer goods, that has to be calculated. We have to take the sum of all that so that we can get the national income of a country within a year. Okay, so now the very first point, that is private final consumption expenditure. It is given Ni is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M plus R minus P. As the C is the consumption expenditure, what it holds for, let us see. Private final consumption expenditure C by household on non-durable goods such as food which are used immediately. Expenditure on durable goods such as car, computer, television, or we can say that the very first non-durable goods come, that is the necessities, or we can say the vegetables, milk and all that products that has to be consumed immediately, and durable goods which can be last for more than 5 years, 5 to 10 years, just like television set, washing machine, computer, etc. And expenditure on services like transport service, medical service, etc. All this come under the private final consumption expenditure. That means if a person is earning 50,000 per month in a, or we can say his income is 50,000 per month, and out of that 50,000, if 20,000 is to be distributed for the consumption purpose of these goods, that is the durable and non-durable, along with the transport and medical services, and those, and that 20,000 or 30,000 is termed as to be the private final consumption expenditure. Okay, the second point, gross domestic private investment expenditure. It refers to the expenditure made by private business on replacement, renewals, and new investment. See, replacement, renewals means what? Because business enterprise, वो जो है वो क्या करेंगे, उनके पास जो मशीन है, if the machine is getting older, if they have two options, either to replace it or to make the replacement or to make a new or to purchase the new machine. In that case, whatever the expenditure is earned by with the replacement of the new machine, that come under this expenditure. Similarly with the investment also, if just like the same thing, that if a person who is depositing his money in his bank and he will, if his date of maturity becomes closer, in that case he have two options, either he has to take the maturity amount with him or he has to renew that. Same happens with the business enterprise also, that whatever their investment is there, they can withdraw it for the business purpose or they can renew it as an investment. Again, this is also known as the investment expenditure, that is denoted by I. Okay, now the third point is government final consumption and investment expenditure, that is G. See, government's final consumption expenditure refers to the expenditure incurred by the government on various administrative service like law and order, defense, education, health, etc. Right now, all of you know about that. Due to this COVID situation, all the hospitals has been turned out to be the COVID hospitals. So for that, that particular facilities should be provided, and therefore government needs some money to that. Even as all of you know that some trains has been converted to COVID hospitals. COVID beds has been provided to them, and so all this expenditure when done by the government is known as government final consumption expenditure. Okay, but this is for the particular phase. But in general, government has to spend some money on law and order service, defense services, education, health services, and therefore that expenditure is termed as government's final consumption expenditure. What is the investment regarding the government? See what is given here. The expenditure incurred by the government on creating infrastructure facility. That means just like roads, railways, bridges, dams, canals. All of you know about the Bandra Worli sea link in Mumbai. It is it is very much popular to all of you. And see, when the government spends so much money on building this particular sea link, now this is the asset for them, or we can say this is the capital good for them, because the income whatever is earning from them, is termed out to be the government's income, and the expenditure done on the building of such a big ceiling is known as government's expenditure, and it comes under the G. Okay, now all of you getting this. The next point is net foreign investment, that is net exports. Exports, net exports always be X minus M, that is export over import. It refers to the difference between exports and imports of a country during a period of 1 year. See, always time limitation is there. You have to consider only the 1 year period. Net receipt, that is receipt minus payment, the difference between expenditure incurred by foreigners on domestic goods and services. See, receipts in the sense the foreigners who visit our country, and for that they have to pay something to, and therefore that come under the receipt sector, and the expenditure incurred abroad by residents on foreign goods and services is termed as a P. That is, difference between this R minus P is to be taken while calculating the national income by the expenditure method. So now we will see the precautions. Precautions are mostly similar to the previous one, so it's very easier to understand, and even if you want to write the answer for this, precautions are almost similar. Just while writing the answer, be careful that which method is asked and which method's precautions you have to write. The very first one is expenditure on all intermediate goods and services should be ignored, as we already seen this. Expenditure on repurchase of second hand goods, again the second hand goods, because in the national income already the cost of final goods and services is included. So while in case of second hand sales or second hand goods, in that case already it is included, so this should be avoided while calculating the national income. Then the expenditure on transfer payments, scholarship, old age pension, it is also not to be taken into consideration while calculating the national income. The fourth one is expenditure on repurchase of financial assets such as shares, bonds, debentures. As such, there is no physical exchange, or we cannot see the physical number of shares, bonds, debentures, and therefore this is also, and one share can be purchased or sold so many times, and therefore it has to be not been included into the national income. Indirect taxes should be deducted. Already I explained about this GST and all that. Expenditure on final goods and services should be included, and that means whatever the expenditure has to be incurred to produce that final goods and services, it should be included, and subsidies should be included, because of the subsidy cost of the goods has been little bit reduced, and therefore this should be included while calculating the national income. Okay, now I think all of you know about this. Just let us see what is given at the end in the end paragraph, that out of these methods, the output method and income method are extensively used in the most of the countries use this output and income method. In advanced countries like USA and UK, the income method is popular. Expenditure method is rarely used by any country. Listen to it, expenditure method is not used by so many countries, and in our country which method is used, the CSO, that is Central Statistical Organization, adopts a combination of both output and income method. That means in our Indian economy, the output and the income method is adopted both methods are adopted by CSO so that we can get the accurate national income of our country. Okay, now I'm ending the lecture with this. The next topic I will cover in the next lecture. Till then, do study well, stay home, stay safe, and if you have any doubt, you can put your doubt in the comment section so that I can clear your doubt. Till then, bye, and do like and subscribe my channel.